Leo's Night of Stars. Leo was going on a big adventure, but his tummy felt like it was full of jumpy grasshoppers. Today was the day he was staying overnight at Iris's house. He sat on his rug and carefully tucked his favorite bear, Barnaby, into his blue backpack. "It's okay, Barnaby," Leo whispered, even though he was the one who needed to hear it. "We'll be back home tomorrow." When they arrived at the little cottage with the yellow door, Iris was waiting with a wide smile. She gave the best hugs, the kind that smelled like cinnamon and old books. "Welcome, explorer," Iris chirped, stepping aside to let them in. Leo held his backpack straps very tightly and took a small step over the threshold. The house looked different than his, with taller clocks and squeakier floorboards. It was time for Mara to head back home. She knelt down so she was eye to eye with Leo. "I'll see you for breakfast tomorrow, okay?" Mara said softly. She gave Leo a squeeze that felt like a warm blanket. Leo hugged her back, his chin resting on her shoulder. He watched from the porch as the car pulled away, feeling very small, but Iris's hand was a steady weight on his shoulder. Iris showed Leo to the guest room. It had wallpaper covered in tiny blue owls and a bed that looked high enough to touch the clouds. When the sun began to set, the shadows in the corners looked like long, reaching fingers. Leo sat on the edge of the bed and hugged Barnaby. The room felt very quiet, and the owls on the wall didn't look as friendly as they did in the light. Just as Leo's lip began to tremble, there was a soft knock. Iris walked in carrying a silver tray. On it were 2 mugs of steaming cocoa and a plate of cookies shaped like stars. "I find that stars are much better when you eat them," Iris said with a wink. They sat together on the bed, and the cocoa warmed Leo's tummy, chasing the jumpy grasshoppers away. "Would you like to hear about the Great Moon Library?" Iris asked. She pulled a heavy, gold-edged book from the shelf. She sat in the velvet armchair and began to read. Her voice was like a low, melodic song that filled up all the quiet spaces in the room. As she read about dragons who collected stardust, Leo forgot all about the squeaky floors and the tall clocks. After the story, the room was dark, but Iris handed Leo a shiny silver flashlight. "Look," she said, "we can make our own stars." Together, they aimed the light at the ceiling and used their hands to create shapes. Leo made a flapping bird, and Iris made a hopping rabbit. The shadows weren't scary anymore. They were just a playground for their imagination. Soon, Leo's eyes grew heavy. Iris tucked the patchwork quilt under his chin, making sure Barnaby was snuggled in too. "Good night, brave explorer," she whispered, kissing the top of his head. Leo realized the bed didn't feel too high anymore. It felt like a soft nest. He listened to the gentle rhythm of the house and fell fast asleep before he could count even 3 sheep. The next morning, the kitchen was bright and smelled like sizzling butter. Iris was at the stove, and Leo was standing on a stool beside her. "Do you think we should add blueberries or chocolate chips?" Iris asked. Leo stirred the golden batter with a big wooden spoon. He felt like a pro. Staying at Iris's house wasn't just a sleepover. It was a festival of pancakes and stories. When Mara's car pulled back into the driveway, Leo didn't run out because he wanted to leave. He ran out because he couldn't wait to tell her everything. He stood by the window with Barnaby, waving his hand high. He had survived the shadows, eaten the stars, and discovered that Iris's house was just another place to call home. "Can I stay 2 nights next time?" he asked as the door opened.